This looks like what we expected when they put this roster together this offseason. 9 games in the NBA today, but we start in Denver where these Knicks put together their best performance of the season. Early in the first quarter in this one, we saw what the Nuggets did in their last game, that beat down in Los Angeles. Nuggets coming off a great road win. Meanwhile, the Knicks coming off a terrible road loss in Utah, but tonight they set the tone. Knicks up by 7 early stages of the first. This is how you're supposed to handle business with your 3 stars. Brunson carves to the rim for 2, and then OG the offensive board and Brunson for 3. They're up 12. Start of the second quarter, Knicks coming out in transition, and there's the big bodega cutting to the rim with a slam. Knicks already up by 18, and Carl adding to it. They're up 21. Midway through the second, more from OG, this time as a playmaker, finding Campaign for 3. So many things going well for the Knicks in this first half. Brunson playmaking, Towns finishing. We're up by 17 now. If there's been one weakness for the Knicks so far this season, it's been their defense. 21st ranked defense, but you couldn't tell it tonight. OG with the takeaway, OG with the finish. Now it's Josh Hart with the takeaway, and OG lifting off in Denver. Nuggets, meanwhile, were just flat out asleep at the wheel tonight, and some post-game quotes by Mike Malone would highlight that. We're going to get to those quotes in a second, but first we got to keep highlighting the OG's OG night. When we talk about all-stars in the East this season, please do not forget about OG Anunoby. Every next possession, Brunson putting on a passing clinic tonight, another assist for him to OG. OG with a career-high 40, Brunson with 23 and a career-high 17 assists, and Karl Anthony Towns, it seems like a nightly occurrence, 30 points, 15 boards. Great stuff here from NBA University. OG Anunoby with a career-high 40 points on 16 of 23 shooting. The Knicks have won 7 of their last 10, and OG has averaged 22 points on 67% true shooting, 6 rebounds, and a steal and a half over that span. All-star, this man. The Knicks' performance stole the show on the floor, but off the floor after the game, Mike Malone with some really important quotes. Mike Malone on if the Nuggets will flush this loss versus the Knicks. Nah, F that. You don't flush when you get embarrassed. You don't flush when you gave up 145 points. I'm not flushing anything. Meanwhile, with the Warriors, they were trying to flush away a 17-point blown lead against the Spurs the other night, only to blow an 18-point lead tonight once again to the Nets. Full recap of this game can be found on my page if you want. Everybody's going to focus on this from the Warriors' perspective. But how about the Nets? They've won their first 4 road games versus the West this season. Jordi Fernandez deserves so much credit. In Boston today, 2 red-hot teams coming into this one, and the return of the Latvian Laser. Clippers and Celtics both came in winners of 5 in a row. Both came in on the second night of a back-to-back. This was an opportunity for the Clippers to show what they're made of. End of the first, they're down by 7. How about Harden to the rim? But tonight, similar to the rest of the league, the Clippers learned a hard lesson. The Celtics started a 3-point barrage in the second quarter. Jaylen Brown with a 3. Now this man has to be one of the leading candidates for 6th Man of the Year. Now it's Peyton Pritchard's turn from downtown. Now it's Derek White's turn from 3. This is all still in the second quarter, by the way. When they start hitting threes like this, you might as well just hit the forfeit button. Tatum to Brown. It looked like a team starting to find their groove. Tatum the block on one end, and then Tatum going coast to coast on the other, hitting the bully ball mode. 6 in a row for the Celtics. Porzingis with 16 in his return, a dominant win for Boston. Porzingis not the only player making his return tonight. Ja Morant back for the Grizzlies against the Blazers. Blazers coming off that impressive win the other night against Houston, but tonight they had to deal with Ja and the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies up by 10, end of the first quarter. How about Marcus Smart making his return off the glass? Second quarter, Ja reminded us why he's one of the most entertaining people on planet Earth. Ja soaring through the air for the slam. Now moments later, Ja playing chess, everybody else playing checkers. Just showing off the full bag in this first half. End of the first half, Bane to the top of the key to Morant for 3. Grizzlies in full control in this fourth quarter. Don't be surprised if this team starts flying up the West standings. This was the first of a 4-game homestand, and Luke Kennard putting the final touches on it. Ja only played 23 minutes tonight, but he still had 22 points, 11 assists. JJJ with 21, 6, and 3 blocks. OKC in Sacramento tonight. The Kings coming off that really rough loss last night against the Brooklyn Nets, now dealing with the number 1 team in the West. Sacramento desperately looking for some signs of life early in the first quarter. Domantas Sabonis for 3. End of the first, Kings down by 4. This is some necessary reinforcements. The return of Malik Monk from injury. We're down by 2 midway through the second quarter, and here comes J-Dub, carving to the rim, tough finish, and one. Sacramento, though, continuing to hang tough in this first half. DeRozan the steal, Keon Ellis the finish. All tied up at the end of the second quarter, and that's when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would get in his bag. Thunder down by 3, early stages of the third. Shai, pump fake triple. Here he goes again in the third, right by Keon Ellis, slicing to the rim with the left. Now the lead is starting to build, up by 7. Check out the spin cycle from Shai. Now he's in a zone, stepping back for 3, and they're up by 12. Final moments of the third, Thunder running away with it. Shai doing a lot of scoring. How about some playmaking from Shai to the rookie, A.J. Mitchell? Thunder win by 21. Shai with 37 and 11. J-Dub with 28. Hartenstein with 17 and 10. Next up for them is the Warriors. Next up for us, Hawks and the Mavericks from Atlanta. No Luka again. Hawks in those white and blue unis. Mavericks would fall behind big early in the first, but in the second, here comes the Dallas depth, Jaden Hardy with the left. Later in the second, here come the Mavericks again. Remember, they went to overtime last night in Miami, but they had plenty of energy in this one. Kyrie from the corner. Dallas had a 6-point lead at that point, but in the third now, they're down by 11 in a seesaw game. Jalen Johnson corner 3. They already had to make one comeback in the first half. Now they're making another comeback in the second half. Kyrie with the baseline fadeaway. Dallas down by 1 early in the fourth. How good has Najee Marshall been? Dallas up by 2, 7 minutes to go, and what we witnessed in this fourth quarter was nothing short of magical from Kyrie freaking Irving. Kyrie puts him up by 6, 5.5 to go. Get it right back to that man. Dyson Daniels guarding him. It doesn't matter. Under a minute to go. Final touches in this one from Irving. Right to the rim for 2. What a nice win for Dallas.
Just all those nights where you're waking up and you don't want to go into the weight room and you're doing all the little things. And we had to will ourselves this win. We didn't play particularly well in the first half. I'm sorry to all my MFFLs out there in the first half. I was so terrible. I was just trying to get my bearings straight. But this is what dreams are made of when you get to battle through a little bit of adversity and have some fun doing it.
Next up, Pelicans and Pacers today from Indiana. Yesterday, we saw Tyrese Halliburton start to find a little bit of rhythm against the Wizards. In the first quarter in this one, this is the Tyrese we remember. Pacers up 15. Second quarter, Pacers up by 9. Confidence is a heck of a thing, isn't it? What a beautiful dime by Hallie. Very next possession, he's feeling good about himself. Halliburton in transition, between the legs, pulling a 3. Despite all that wonderful stuff from Halliburton in the first half, Pelicans only down by 4 without Brandon Ingram. Trey Murphy bringing them closer, but the story for the Pelicans, Elfrid Payton, what a dime session he was putting on. All tied up in the fourth at 91 apiece, 8 minutes to go. Another one of the 21 dimes for Elfrid. Pacers up by 4 now, 5:35 to go, and here they come in transition, looking like last year's Pacers, pushing the pace, and Halliburton again. Only up by 1, a minute to go, and this would just about do it. Halliburton, the lob upstairs for Mathurin. 9 for 18 from three-point land, 34 points and 13 assists. Pacers win by 4. Make that 2 in a row, by the way, for Indiana. They have 2 more on this homestand. The Pelicans lost this game despite 21 freaking assists from Elfrid Payton. It's obviously been a really rough season for the Pelicans. Also want to give a shout out to the rookie Vis Misi, who continues to look good. Today he had 16 points, 13 rebounds. Hornets and Magic tonight from Charlotte. Made a full recap of this one on my page. Another masterpiece from LaMelo. And yet another masterpiece wasted, because despite scoring more than half their points, they only put up 84 points as a team, and the Magic get the dub. Who would have thought a game between the Raptors and the Pistons could be so entertaining? Aiden Ivey with a 3 there. The Pistons again without Cade Cunningham in the second quarter. Check out this sequence. Scotty Barnes with a 3. Next possession, Scotty again. Very next possession, he's feeling good about it, and he's going to shoot another one. If he can continuously hit this, watch out. All tied at 93 with 2:40 to go in the fourth. Remember, the Raptors are the only winless team on the road this season. Scotty puts them up. 1:10 to go. Pistons down by 2. Jaden Ivey full steam ahead. All tied up now with 43 seconds to go. Beef Stew gives them the lead. It's madness in Motown now. On the other end, Scotty Barnes looking to respond. He gets into the paint and he ties it. Pistons have been involved in so many late-game heroics already this season. With 1 second to go, Jaden Ivey beats the buzzer, and the Pistons win. By the way, in case you're wondering, that moves the Pistons to 9th in the East. Will they make the play-in tournament this season? Before we go tonight in the West, here's the updated standings. I'm worried about the Sacramento Kings, 8-10, and they seem like they're headed in the wrong direction.